Bonjour tout le monde. Good morning. Hope you're all well. Hope you've all had a lovely weekend. And I hope you're all ready for the week ahead and ready to make sure that we all learn, sparkle and shine for the full week ahead of all the wonderful learning opportunities that we've got lined up for you. So, Monday morning, what do we normally do in whole school assembly? We put our hands up and we tell what the theme is for the moment. So who has got their hands up in the classroom? I hope all the teachers are now pointing to somebody and you're all sharing what our theme is for the moment for this term. There we go, our school theme this term. TEAM. Together, everyone achieves more. And I know over the term we've been thinking of lots of different stories and thinking of lots of different ways that we work together as a team. So earlier on in the term we talked about the parts of the body, and we talked about how the eyes and the ears and the nose and the mouth and the feet and the arms and the hands all decided that they wanted to work separately from the stomach because they thought the stomach was a little bit lazy. But actually they soon realised that actually without the contribution of the stomach, they themselves couldn't work very effectively neither. So actually they recognised that they all needed to work together as a team to actually be effective in their role. And then last week we looked at the shark and the little fish and how each of them independently was gaining something from the other. So the shark was having its skin cleaned by the little fish, and in return the little fish were getting the protection of the shark and weren't being eaten by other fish in the locality. So actually the team was the shark and the fish working together to benefit each other. I just want to show you a picture. I just want you to have a little think about what this picture means when we look at it. So just take a look at that for a moment, and there are some bars of wood or metal, whatever it is, whatever your perception is of that. But the person on this side is saying that he can see 4 bars. 1, 2, 3, 4. But the person on this side is saying, no, you're wrong actually. No, there are 3 bars. Look, 1, 2, 3. What a strange picture, isn't it? Now we've seen pictures like this before. Who can remember when I showed you the picture of what some people thought was a rabbit and what some people thought was a duck? It was an optical illusion, wasn't it? Whichever way you looked at it, the picture seemed to change between being a rabbit sometimes or being a duck sometimes. And what we thought about when we were looking at that picture was actually who was right and who was wrong. Well, we concluded, didn't we, that actually nobody was wrong. Actually, your perception of it was exactly that. What you see and what your perception of it is exactly right for you. And what the other person sees and their perception is exactly right for them. So actually nobody was right and nobody was wrong. It's just that we see the world differently. And that's a good thing. That's okay. Seeing the world from different perspectives is actually fine. Listening to what other people think is actually fine. Having a different perspective put on things is a great way to look at things. And actually, from this person here's point of view, yes, he can see 4 bars. And from this person's point of view, yes, he can see 3 bars. It's actually another optical illusion. And it's very difficult optical illusion to decipher. Maybe you and your teachers can look at it later on. But neither of them are right and neither of them is wrong. From their own perspective, actually they are both correct. And if they spend all day arguing about this, then actually they're not going to get very far. They're not going to do anything other than actually get increasingly angry because they're both seeing it from their own point of view. What would a solution to this be, do you think? How could this be resolved? Let's have a little think about that for a moment. How could we sort out this problem that's going to carry on if they don't sort it out because they're just going to argue all day? Well, my solution would be let's swap the people around. So this person here, come onto my side, come and see what it looks like from over here. And this person here, actually, no, you walk round this side and you look at what it looks like from this point of view. And actually, they each were to look at it from the other point of view, and they would see that there is a different perspective here, and that they could agree. Sometimes we just have to look at it from another person's angle, or try our best to see things from another point of view, so that then we can understand and actually learn through the process. That's called being part of a team. The team doesn't have everybody in it that thinks the same, acts the same, does the same. A good team, or a great team, has lots and lots of different people in it, and each of them play their own part, or bring their own contribution, or add something to that team that none of the others could add. That's what makes a great team. Everybody bringing something, everybody contributing, everybody putting something on the table, but actually because they all do, then actually the team is stronger. And I'm going to read you a story. Whilst you're looking at that, I want you to listen as well. There's the story of the enormous turnip. You'll all know the story, but just think about it from the perspective of what is everybody contributing to this team. So once upon a time, a farmer sowed some turnip seed in his garden. After a few days, some shoots began to show. But one seed grew faster than all the rest. It grew and grew and did not stop growing until the leaves were like a bush and the most enormous turnip had formed beneath the ground. A turnip is a root vegetable. It actually grows under the ground. We eat the roots of the plant. So the turnip is actually underneath the soil and the shoots are at the top. And actually it's a root vegetable, so you need to remember that. The time came when the farmer decided to pull up the enormous turnip to eat. Going to the vegetable patch, he rolled up his sleeves, took a firm grasp of the turnip stem, and then he pulled, and he pulled, and he pulled. But he couldn't pull up this enormous turnip. So on his own, nothing happened. Couldn't budge the turnip. It wasn't going to move. So the farmer called to his partner. "Please, could you come to help me?" The farmer's partner held on to his waist, and they pulled. And they pulled. And they pulled. But they still couldn't pull up the turnip. So even this team of two weren't getting very far. The team of two even couldn't pull up the enormous turnip. So the farmer's partner called to their child. "Please, could you come and help us?" So the son joined the line, and together they pulled, and they pulled, and they pulled, but they still couldn't pull up the enormous turnip. So the farmer's son called to the sister. "Please come and help us." So the farmer's daughter joined the line, and together they pulled, and they, but still the enormous turnip remained in the ground. A friendly dog stopped at the gate. The farmer's daughter called out, "Please, can you come and help us?" So the dog came and joined the line, and they pulled, and they pulled, and they pulled, but the enormous turnip still would not budge. Well, by now, everybody was getting a bit hot and tired. But just then, a cat walked down the path. The dog barked. Now, normally, what would you expect the dog to do? Yeah, you'd expect the dog to chase the cat. But actually, that wouldn't have achieved what they're hoping to achieve. They were hoping to pull up this enormous turnip and work together as a team. So the dog and the cat put their differences apart, and the dog said to the cat, "Come on, please come and help us." So taking hold of the dog's tail, the cat joined the line, and together they pulled and. Well done. But they still could not pull up the enormous turnip. Well, just then a mouse scuttled from underneath the hedge. But again, instead of chasing it, the cat meowed. "Please come and help us." "A mouse?" exclaimed the others. "A mouse? What difference is a mouse going to make?" But the mouse and the cat put their differences apart. The cat didn't chase the mouse. The cat asked the mouse to join the team. And the mouse cautiously took hold of the cat's tail. And together they pulled. And then with one almighty big pull, suddenly the enormous turnip flew out of the ground, and they all tumbled in a heap. The farmer and his partner carried the turnip to their house and used it to cook a vegetable stew. And at supper time, there was more than enough for all of them to eat, even the dog and the cat, and don't forget the mouse. So it's interesting, isn't it? The dog, the cat and the mouse, they all had to put their differences aside, and actually by working together, by pulling together, quite literally, they got the job done. They didn't argue about it. They decided, actually, together we can get this done more than we could working on our own. Now, who can think where that is? Where have you seen that in our school? I matter, and so do you. Yeah, if you're going up the stairs at the front of school, what we call the year 3 stairs at the moment, the year 3 bubble stairs, on the left hand side as you're going up the stairs, or on the right hand side as you're coming down the stairs, you will see those words, I matter, and so do you. And it's just a reflection of what we think here at St. Peter's. We're not selfish. We do understand and recognise that each person has a part to play. I have a part to play. I matter. But you have a part to play too, and so do you. You matter too. So actually pulling together and being part of a team is what makes our school the best place to be. Because actually none of us is working alone, but we're all working together as a team, and T-E-A-M, together everyone achieves more. Not just one person, all of us achieve more. Hands together and eyes closed. Dear God, please help us to learn to work together. May we never be too proud to ask for help, nor too hesitant to give it. Thank you for the ways in which we will help and have helped one another in our school. So I want you to think, before we finish our assembly today, how are you going to help somebody today? What are you going to do? If you see somebody in need, what are you going to do to help the team be better? And let's say the Lord's Prayer together. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. So, just before we finish, I want you to remember that our assemblies are going on the Shine Team blog. So if you go to the Shine Team blog, you can watch this assembly again. It's on the school YouTube channel, and that is linked to the Shine Team blog, so you can go onto the Shine Team blog, see my assembly and watch it again. Watch it at home with your parents, that'll be lovely. And if you do, on the Shine Team blog, you can always add a comment on the blog post, and what do you think? Maybe write on there some things that you're going to do to help people, or maybe some of the things that you have done. I know some of you are really being very helpful at home, and your parents are sending in those messages to the Super Learner email address, which is lovely to see. So have a lovely day, but remember to always, well done, learn, sparkle and shine. Don't forget to drop over to the blog. Don't forget to add a comment, and Shine Team, if you could support with that. Have a fantastic day, everybody, and I'll hopefully see you on my walks around school at some point. Take care. Have a lovely day.